Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my videos today. So today's video is another part of my series, my brand new series or brand new playlist here on YouTube, which is Law of Attraction Myth Busting. So I'm going to be taking you guys' questions and your myths and busting them to give you the truth, to give you facts, to give you help, tools, advice, and hopefully help you break through anything that's been keeping you stuck, or maybe you've been questioning because you're not sure whether it's fact, whether it's fiction, whether it works, whether it doesn't. So I have already done a video here on this YouTube channel on my playlist, so please make sure to go and watch that as well, because we covered things like feeling negative emotions. Do we manifest things if we're feeling negative? We covered so many different things, affirmations, myth busting around affirmations, so please make sure to go and watch that. But today I've got some brand new myths for you straight from you guys, and also some things that I thought were really important to cover as well, or things that I found were a myth over my law of attraction journey. So I really hope you're going to enjoy this video. So the first myth is whether divine timing exists, or whether we are able to have everything on our timing, like our own timing. And I think this is a great myth and a great subject matter to discuss, because divine timing is something I've definitely learned along my manifesting journey, but also it is quite an intricate thing. And it's like, how does it work? Is it all divine timing? Is it all the universe's timing? Do we have any control of the timing of our life or our manifestations, right? And I think this is a two-part answer in short, because I have seen, and myself as well, have manifested things in certain time frames. But I think there's a mindset, and I'm going to get into that. There's a strategy and mindset to that enables that to happen. Whilst there is also another contributing factor, and I think what's important to remember, and I've spoken about this a lot in my manifesting process, like my 5 steps to law of attraction videos, is actually about the co-creation process, and actually how, yes, we can set our intentions, yes, we can set timeframes, but how that plays out is totally out of our control. So I guess there's not really a simple answer of yes, that's a myth, or no, that's fact. But more so, I guess, thinking about, well, you can set your intentions, you can have all the positive intentions in the land for it happening in that time frame. But if, divine timing, divine reason, the universe is like, that is not for your highest good to receive it at that point, then that's when we really have to learn to surrender, we have to learn to trust, and we really have to put that ultimate trust in the universe to know that at the right time, for the highest good of all, that will come into our lives. So yes, absolutely, there have been times along my manifesting journey where I've been like, come on universe, like I need this, and then it doesn't happen in that time frame. But from hindsight, the beautiful thing, which is hindsight, I've realized that actually I thought that was for my highest good to receive it at that point, but actually in the time I did receive it, I had more awareness, I had more clarity on what I wanted to do. Like with my book, for instance, that was a great example of that. I had more clarity by that point that I had the book deal. I had more clarity on the publishers I wanted to work with. I had more clarity on the book concept and how strong it was as well by that point. So even though it didn't happen when I wanted it to, it happened in the perfect timing for the right publisher to come along and for me to be in the right place to receive that, sustain that, and also have that clarity of, well, this is my book, this is what I want to put out into the world. And I think, so many times I've been like, why, universe, is this not happening in the time that I want it to? And then hindsight, I'm like, that's why. Like, there was a very good reason why. So I don't think divine timing is a myth. Divine timing is very much true. But we can absolutely manifest in our own time frames if it's for the highest good. Now, when you see people setting like ridiculous manifestations of like, I'm going to manifest X amount of money in 24 hours, or I'm going to manifest this within 24 hours, 5 days, whatever. and you see them doing it. Now, there is a mindset behind that, because you've probably tried it. You've probably like asked for a sign in the next 24 hours, or maybe asked for money by a certain point if, a bill or an emergency's come up or something, and maybe it has or hasn't happened. But the reason why this happens for people, and myself included, is because of the detachment. So if you are stressing, if you are like, I need this thing within this time frame, come on universe, that is not an energy of receiving. That is not you becoming an energetic match to your desire and to the version of yourself that has that desire. So this is why I constantly talk about planning your plan B and having a backup plan, so that you take that pressure off yourself. And you're then manifesting from a space of relaxation. You're manifesting from that space of ease, and you're manifesting from that space which is not desperate or needs that desire. Remember, we always get what we want when we need it the least, right? So when you can really get into that relaxed energy of, I'm okay if this happens and I'm okay if it doesn't, that is what creates the container for that instant manifestation and for that desire to reach you quickly. So it's all about your mindset rather than the time frame you set, or rather the universe, saying yes or no to your time frame. It's actually your mindset and your energy that really determines how quickly that manifests in your life. So I think there's two aspects to that myth, really, because yes, divine timing absolutely exists. I've witnessed it in my own life and clients and followers' lives, and there's always a reason for it. But also, we absolutely can manifest within our own time frames as well, if it's for the highest good of all. Number two is if the universe has another plan. Another great question, another great myth sent in. And I think it's such an interesting one again, because it's like, I don't think we're ever gonna know the true answers to these. This is just our experiences, our kind of our results that we've experienced from our own experiences, right? So the universe having another plan, I think, again, is this or something better, isn't it? Again, it's looking at that divine timing as well of, this or something better. And I think it can be really disheartening when the universe does come around and is like, nope, that's not for you. This is for you, or something different. And I think it's always really important to remember that it is always, 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 always going to be something better. It's never going to be a downgrade. It's never going to be something worse. It's always going to be a step up from what you think you deserve, or what you have set as your intention. So say, for instance, you're working through some self-worth or limiting beliefs around self-worth, and you think that you're only worthy of that certain job, for example. And the universe is like, no, you're like worthy of this kind of job. So you're not going to get the job that you apply for at that level, because the universe is pushing you to do that inner work and to really clear that resistance to attract and align to that job up there with the better pay, the better colleagues, the better benefits, where you're actually living your dream career, not your entry level career, or maybe something which is not settling, but like something which is just convenient at that time, if that makes sense. So really, when the universe has another plan, it has a plan for a reason. It's never anything negative. It's never anything that is here to punish you or be like, oh, sorry, you couldn't have that, but we've got this backup. It's always going to be, and I remember this famous quote, which I always live by, which is, the universe will never take anything from your life. It merely subtracts to add in multiple ways. And I love that, because again, I've witnessed it in my life so many times of things feeling like deathly when they're taken away, or feeling like things are over, or feeling like, whoa, like, why has this happened? And then you realize, like, further down the line, you're like, wow, okay, I really see this, and actually how the universe didn't take anything from my life at all. It actually took away what was no longer serving me to bring in something even greater and something more aligned, which has a million more benefits, like I said with the job example, and I have more in my life now because of that. So I think is a really interesting one about the universe's plan, and I'm going to get to another myth which kind of follows on from that in a second, because they're kind of very similar talking points. So I want to talk about it from this perspective as well, so you can kind of feel more of an idea of what the universe's plan is. But yeah, I think it's really important with all these myths, that especially the ones I'm covering today, that surrender is definitely key with them. And it's just really important to, yeah, just really go with the flow, allow and know that, you know, there's nothing bad that can happen from you not getting your desires, which I know sounds counterintuitive. And it's like, well, set your intentions, set your desires, you're going to get everything you want. But as I covered in my first video, sometimes not getting what you want is the biggest blessing ever. And then in hindsight, down the line, you look back and you're like, wow, thank God I didn't get what I wanted. So the universe's plan is there to protect us. The universe's plan is there to, yeah, protect us and allow, you know, what is for the highest good to come through, and allow and give us the opportunity as well to up level to that level of receiving, you know, what we truly deserve, right? You know, self-worth can stop us so much of the time, and confidence as well. So really, you know, not getting what we want is actually challenging us to up level, to align with the version of ourselves that actually has bigger dreams, and we can go for that bigger dream, that bigger goal, because we have that healed self-worth at that point. So number 3 is whether we can manifest for others. And I get asked this so many times. And yes, we can. So it's not a myth, you can manifest for others. But I think as well, there's lots of kind of like clauses that come with it. So say for instance, someone's not very well, or you want to send them some positive vibes to feel better or just experience more joy. Those things are great to set intentions. Obviously it's setting it with a detachment, not in a sense of like control, because again, like everybody has different karma, everybody has, you know, a different life path. And if something is not for the highest good of that person, like we do not want to be forcing that on anybody. So when you're manifesting for other people, it's really important to say, you know, for the highest good of all, this or something better for the highest good of all for this person. And, you know, as long as it's in their best interest, then, you know, I set this intention of whatever. We have to be really careful with this, because what we put out comes back to us. Now, hopefully, and of course, everybody watching this video is going to be setting loving, amazing, pure intentions. But obviously, there are some people in the world who maybe aren't doing that. And there is divine protection with that. So you might set a really thoughtful, heartfelt, pure, amazing intention for someone, and it may not happen. And it may not happen for them, not because you didn't do enough, but actually because it just was not in that person's highest good or destiny or path or whatever to experience that or whatever. You know, we can't force things on people. We can't force anything, even on ourselves. So again, you know, what you set as a positive intention only reflects positively back to you as well. So if you're setting, you know, like lovely intentions and positive and just wanting someone to be happy, like that is going to reflect back to you as well, which is always a good thing. So just always be mindful of what you're setting for people, because again, that mirror is there. And I know firsthand people have also experienced what they have set for other people, good, bad, neutral, whatever. So just be mindful of that when you're setting your intentions. And I think as well, it's like I said, it's setting it without attachment, it's setting it without judgment, and it's setting it without that expectation of this must happen. Like, it's good to, you know, wish well for someone. It's nice to help someone out, of course. But someone also has to be in that space of their life and in the energy to receive that and want to do that. I have a lot of people who have come to me and maybe wanted to manifest a new job for their partner, or I don't know, something happening for their child, or, you know, whatever the example is. And I just don't think it's beneficial to do those kinds of manifestations, because again, that opportunity could come up for them, but if they're not going to take it because they're mentally and physically and emotionally not in that space to do it, or maybe they don't want to do it, or maybe that's not for their highest good, it's not going to happen. So I think feelings and emotions are always key to to help people. And I think it's better for them to feel happy and fulfilled within themselves to then make better aligned decisions for themselves. So I think if you're trying to set like intentions and manifestations to really secretly benefit yourself more than anything, look at that, because where's that coming from? Where is that control coming from? So actually, if you're setting an intention for someone to, you know, feel happier and healthier, maybe if they're not feeling well, if you're setting an intention for someone to feel happiness and ease, like those things are absolutely fine, again, for the highest good of all. But if you're setting intentions of, I hope this person leaves this job and gets this other job, or I hope this person does this, those things I say avoid, because it's just not beneficial. And that person needs and will do those things if they want to, and if it's for their highest good, of their own accord. You don't need to be wishing that on anybody. Like, that will just happen. So I think it's important to remember that aspect of manifesting for others, and, you know, knowing like where your intentions are coming from. Is it coming from a detached space where it's for the highest good, you're setting that intention? Or is it coming from a controlling place where maybe you need to let that play out rather than set intentions? So there is always protection there. Again, like I said, if it's not for the highest good of the person, it won't even come near them. But again, it's nice to set nice, happy, emotional and feeling intentions for people. But again, I just wouldn't be, like downhearted or upset if those things don't happen, because it just means wasn't for their highest good, you know, and that something better is going to come along for them. And lastly, my last myth of today is that everything is all predetermined by destiny. Everything's set out and we cannot create our realities. Everything is predetermined, and we live in a world of everything predetermined, set in stone, and that's that. This is a really complex myth to bust, because I don't think that I know the definitive answer, and I don't think anybody on this planet knows the definitive answer. So all I can really do is answer this from a place of experience, and a place of what I've seen within my own life and other people's lives, and I guess from what I resonate with at this time. That's the only place we can answer from, right? So there have definitely been times in my life where things have felt so destined, and you're like, whoa, like that is a massive case of serendipity there. And against all odds, against anything that's happened, like that has happened, and it is like the universe was determined for those things to happen, right? You know, whether it's a positive experience, a negative experience, you know, taking away what's positive or negative, looking at it from a more neutral space, you know, we can all definitely relate to those things where we've met people, or, you know, opportunities that come up and it's so serendipitous and you're like, whoa, like that is the universe like hitting you right in the face with it, right? So we can definitely say we've all had those experiences. And also, you know, we can all hopefully, you know, if you're watching this channel, then I'm sure you're manifesting all of the time. You can also experience that from a space of you are creating your reality, you're setting your intentions and they're happening, you're seeing them happen in your life. So therefore you're creating your reality. I believe there's a mix of both. I believe there are certain things that are set in stone in our lives, that people are meant to come into our lives, we're meant to do certain careers, maybe there's the opportunity for children to come in or whatever. Like, there are certain things that I feel are definitely karmic, that we are, you know, destined to experience, and we've chosen to come down here and experience in this lifetime. How those things play out, I feel, is definitely more intuitive, and obviously depends on our soul and whether we are choosing to learn those things, avoid those things, etc., etc. Now, I don't think people tend to avoid things, because I think even if you try to, it will come around later on, you know, that lesson's still going to come back around as such. I do believe we create our realities, but one thing I definitely do notice, and again, this is just purely an observation from going along my manifestation journey over the last 6 years, is even when I think that I've, you know, had that idea, or I've had that intent, you know, like, oh, I'll do that, or oh, I'll set that intention, I look back and I'm like, that's very serendipitous. Like, that intention I had, or that what I thought I was creating, kind of was like the kickstart, kind of like this, what do they say, like the stone down the hill moment, or the snowball effect. Stone down a hill moment, I really don't think that's a saying. Snowball effect is what we'll go with, of like a chain reaction of one thing happens and then like, ooh, everything takes off. So I definitely feel like there's been moments where I've even been like, was that me setting that intention, or did the universe kind of drop that in and I was meant to manifest that at that time to then manifest all these other things that came along and kind of set that ball in motion down the hill to then manifest all these other things and experience all these other things. So I think there's definitely sliding door moments in our life. I definitely believe there are timelines as well, where we can be so sure of something and be like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm going to do this, and then doesn't even happen. And you're like, I feel like I'm in a total different timeline, a total different life to what I thought I would be in. So I definitely think there's sliding door moments in our life. I definitely think there's timelines that can change and switch. Absolutely. I've witnessed it in my own life, and even in like people I've worked with lives where I've been so sure of something for them and they're so sure, and then it's like one split decision changes everything for them and they go down a completely different path, and you're like, I did not see that coming. Like neither of us saw that coming. So I think, I don't know whether we're meant to know that answer. I don't think we are. I don't think everything is set in stone, because then what would be the point if everything is, you know, we're here in this classroom of life, right, to learn lessons, up level, and yeah, like experience things to up level and learn the things that we chose to came down here and learn. So what would be the point in that if every single decision and every single thing was predetermined? Because then it wouldn't really be a lesson. It would be like, well, I know I'm going to pass that anyway. So do you know what I mean? Like we wouldn't learn the lessons that we need to learn as a soul in this lifetime of what we choose to learn. So I feel like there has to be an element of free will. And obviously, you know, I do believe there is free will. Absolutely. And I think free will is also what changes timelines, or what is those sliding door moments as well. Because if, like, you know, we live in a world surrounded by people as well, if other people's decisions, you know, that is all counteracting those sliding door moments. But absolutely, you know, if something is meant to be, there is nothing that can stop that in this world. I've definitely experienced those moments. And I guess it's one of those things where what is for you will never pass you by. Like all you need to be is yourself to receive what is truly meant for you. And that is so true, like so true. And it's just funny how the universe works. And I found, I think as well, especially for me, who is definitely an ex-controller with manifesting, is I'm always surprised. The universe will surprise you. Nothing has ever, I think, happened how I've thought it would. It's always happened in a completely different way, even better. And it's been a total shock and total surprise. And I think that's the best sometimes, because then you're not expecting it. And obviously, like, it's easier to then receive that. And it's nice to have those positive surprises as well, right? So I think it's really hard to give a definitive answer, as I've said, because what's right, what's wrong, who knows? But definitely I feel there is absolutely room for free will. I feel there's absolutely room for manifestation and co-creation, and that's where that kind of divine plan comes into it, where if it's not for our highest good, we're not going to receive it, right? So I think it's a very interesting conversation to be had, but I want to open this conversation up to you guys as well. You know, it's one thing me sharing my experiences and thoughts, but I'd love to hear from your experiences and thoughts too, what you think on all of the myths that we have busted or discussed today. But please let me know what you would like me to cover in my next myth busting videos. Please put some suggestions down below in the comments or message me on Instagram, and please put any, and even if it's not a myth, maybe it's a question you have, or can we do this, or is this true? Because then at least I can cover it in my next videos. So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget you can join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. The link is below. And don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I replied to them all. I hope you have a great week, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you all in my next YouTube video, which will be next week. Lots of love, guys.